I'm Carlos Henriquez, and today's topic is spreadsheeting during retirement. Most people think that spreadsheeting ends when you retire. You build your retirement spreadsheets so you can determine when you can afford to retire. And then the cautious nature most people have is to wait to really make sure you have enough. The result of doing this is that you actually end up with too much. The most important thing is spreadsheeting during retirement. What happens from year to year is you create your assumptions for variables, but there are too many variables, and all of the numbers you come up with are wrong. And then each year, here's where I thought I would be, here's where I actually am. This is now the beginning point of your next spreadsheet. And so what's important here is once you've retired, is to continue the spreadsheeting process. Not because things are dire, but because of the opposite. Things are lucrative. You've built a 7-figure net worth. You're retiring comfortably to 6 figures. At AdviceOne, we want to help you become comfortable with the spending. And so to us, there needs to be 2 spending columns. One is the empirical spending column. You can calculate, here's my pension, our Social Security, and IRAs, and these are the withdrawals you took out in the past year. Then you know to the penny how much you're living on. That number becomes that empirical spending column. And of course, if the result of that is a runaway curve, then there's more money than you could possibly need. You can infer you can actually spend more. But here's the secret. We want to plot how much you can spend. What's the highest range? And we don't mean forever, but maybe for the next 10 years. Right now, you're age 62. Hopefully, you've put in some reduction in spending, say after age 82. But what can you get away with from 62 to 72? Here's where we add a second spending column. And maybe in this example, that might be an extra $50,000 a year. So you can have an empirical retirement at $165,000 a year, and everything's peachy keen. You enjoy everything about your retirement. But if your spreadsheet says that you can actually live on $215,000 per year, there's $165 in one column, and an additional $50,000 from, say, 62 to 72 in the second column, it might become easier for you to spend more than $165,000 a year. Our experience, when a person first retires, is that in the very first year, there's a little bit of spending paralysis. In fact, I've seen people willing to say, well, I'm just going to live on my pension and Social Security and not take any withdrawals. And that's the opposite of what good planning is. The goal is to become aware that you have enough money. I know that if you do this properly, but you don't spend properly, you'll wake up one day at age 84 and say, goodness, we had plenty of money. We want you to spreadsheet that by age 64. We want you to suspect in your spreadsheet, wow, we actually have plenty of money. So if you have a current lifestyle of $165,000 and your spreadsheet says you can spend $215,000, then you won't have any reluctance about spending the $165,000. That'll just become normal. Then it becomes simple. Then we start to increase by $1,000 a month. And now withdrawals go from, say, $165 to $177. And over time, we continue to increase by $1,000 a month of withdrawals to increase to yet another number. And you can slowly get to a point where you're living your bucket list. You're fully realizing everything you want to do in life. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found this helpful.